But I'm just curious, like, I thought it was so cool with how you set up like a Tolkien-esque world and what were some of the, like symbolism behind some of the things. I just thought you had one of the cooler worlds, and that you built some really amazing things into there. So you mind just letting us know how you came up with this universe?
Well, I wanted an ancient world. I wanted a more modern kind of medieval world, and then I wanted a horror world. So I split them up on the three different continents, and I started building up mythos and powers and abilities and landmarks. Um, and I went from there. Now, if you when you read the Scorched Hunter, you're in the more modern or the kind of Western medieval sort of area of the world where technology is more advanced and there's the armor's a bit better. And with the ignited moon, you're into the more ancient world, more ancient rituals. You learn more about the creation of the world that you see, and the world that you see was danced into existence by five goddesses. And I got the whole dance inspiration off of the first uh, Guardians of the Galaxy. Hey, what better way to save the universe than to dance, and what better to create the universe than to dance? So you can dance if you want to.
Nice. That's a
Yeah,
rad idea, dude, to have like different technologies and whatnot
that
in
is
different
cool.
continents.
I
That's
like
fucking
that a
cool.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll see you'll get to see eventually see the horror one, but I'm not going to reveal too much about the horror continent. I will tell you this that it's called the continent of blasphemy for a reason.
Mm.
I just think it's cool that you're like writing slightly different things, right? And like using, like fantasy in a different way with some of the subgenre, some of the subgenre, like characteristics put in there, but then still, keeping them within the same world. And I think that's like super, super cool. That's what I personally liked about the Forgotten Realms was that like if you look behind me, there's like City of Ravens, right? Which is almost like it's like an Ocean's 11, but with just like a couple people. But it's not really a heist, but it kind of is, but it's an Ocean's 11 if you read it, and it's like with a smaller group, and it's like super interesting. But then you go somewhere else, right? And there's just so many different people and continents, and no one author ever wrote the same type of story. And even though it was still fantasy, they had so like Richard Lee Byers I interviewed. He's one of my writing heroes. And I got to interview him and tell him that, and he wants to come back, so I'm so excited. But like he has a lot of horror elements, and then some of them had some like sci-fi fantasy, and it's just so cool. I think that you kind of took that similar, concept and like made it your own, but really like dove more into those kind of things to just pull in some really unique aspects. So I just wanted to point that out because I thought that that was like really really cool, and I haven't seen many people do that. So it's almost like you're a bunch of Forgotten Realms authors, but like it's just you in your world. And I don't know, that's a really unique idea. So I thought that was really cool.
Absolutely, I'll be honest. I have not read nearly the capacity of fantasy and science fiction as most people have. I've kind of been more mainstream, like DC, Marvel, and all that kind of mentality. So I'm eager to explore more authors as time progresses.